Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. If you're new to my channel, you're very welcome. My name is Busola. I'm a final year medical student living in Nigeria. I make medical school and lifestyle videos. If you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and check out all my other videos. I'm sure you'll love them. Today's video is for all my aspiring medical students. If you are still in secondary school, if you're out of secondary school and you're trying to apply into medical school, or if you've already even been accepted into medical school and you've just resumed or you're preparing to resume, this video is definitely for you. In this video, I'm just going to talk about 12 things you need to know before you come into medical school, before you resume medical school. So if you're interested in this video, please keep on watching. Medical school is expensive. Medical school is definitely expensive, especially if you are studying in a private medical school in Nigeria. The prices are actually not for the masses. We already know that things are hard in Nigeria. Those prices are not for the masses, and so it can be financially stressful, financially straining. Of course, it can be cheap for some people, but I'm looking at the average Nigerian. The average Nigerian cannot afford medical school in Nigeria, to be honest, because everywhere the fees for medical school is highest. In my school, the fees for medical school is the highest compared to every other faculty. You know, like medical school is expensive for the average Nigerian, and leaving that aside, your textbooks are so expensive. There are so many things you are going to have to spend money on. So yeah, it is definitely relatively expensive, and it is even more expensive if you go to a private uni. So you have to have that at the back of your mind. A lot of the time you can't really do things that would help you save the money that you are spending. Like a lot of the time you have to order food for a couple of days, you know, all of those things that a normal student will be able to do to save money and all of that, maybe cook and stuff. You may not have the luxury of time to actually do that. Procrastination is your biggest enemy. Procrastination is your worst enemy. That is who your village people are going to send to you, and if you let it take over your life, it is going to be disastrous. Do not procrastinate. Try as much as possible. It's hard, I'm never going to lie, it's hard, but try as much as possible not to procrastinate. Do the things that you're supposed to do at the times that you're supposed to do them. It would change your life. I don't know how else to make this make sense. It will change your life. It is the difference between you and the average student. It is the difference between if you are going to do well or if you're not going to do well. Do not procrastinate. Do things at the right time. Time management is your biggest friend. Okay, find your squad. Try as much as possible to find your squad. Or actually, I don't even think this is an active thing that you have to do. I don't think you should force finding any squad, to be honest. I feel like your squad will gravitate towards you. That is my own belief. I think that your squad will gravitate towards you, but be open to letting your squad gravitate towards you. Do not be a lone ranger. Being a lone ranger in medical school does not pay. I have been there. I have done that. I am naturally just introverted. I do not blend with people easily. Like, that is my jam. Okay, if that advice is coming from anywhere, know that it's coming from experience. Like, that was me. Okay, I was definitely a lone ranger. Like, I did not associate with people a lot just because I did not get comfortable in new environments fast. I really do not. Even up until now, I do not, and I found my squad very late because of that. And I think that my life is a lot better now that I found my squad, and now that I found my people and my friends in medical school. I mean, in medical school, I'm not even saying outside of medical school. I think that your support outside of medical school, your family, your friends, and so on, they are very important, but also your squad in medical school, the people in your class. Okay, that squad in your class, very important. Be open to finding them. Be open to letting people mingle with you. Do not be so closed off. Do not be a lone ranger. It doesn't pay. It will not help you. Study groups, class groups, friend groups, whatever in medical school, they are very important. Okay, these are the people that know exactly what you are going through, because they are going through the exact same things. You people are reading the exact same things. It is so important. You get to, read with people, you get to study with people, revise with people. Those things are so important. You do not know, at least for me, I do not know what I know until I've been able to discuss it with other people, and it is even more important to discuss with your peers than any other person. So definitely be open to finding your squad. Make sure that you are not closed off. I'm going to say this again because I feel like there are some people watching this now that have coconut head. It will not pay you. My sister, my brother, it will not pay you. Do not be a lone ranger. I'm telling you now, as someone who has been in your shoes, do not do that. Okay, it doesn't pay. Medical school is mostly studying. You are going to study your butt off in medical school. You are going to study. Now, the way that you've been studying in secondary school, most of the time it will not work for you in medical school. Okay, it will most likely not work for you. I think a lot of us used passive studying or passive learning to study in medical school, and it worked fine. Like, we topped our classes that way in secondary school, but in medical school it is an entirely different ball game. It is a whole other ball game. You need to now learn. I'm not going to tell you study methods that are going to work for you, because I genuinely believe that different people have different study methods that work for them. So from the beginning, like right from the start, try to experiment with different study methods. Watch a lot of how to study in medical school videos, tips on studying in medical school videos, like they're on YouTube. Okay, just go and explore a lot of them. Try out different methods, and eventually you are definitely going to find what works for you. So take your time. So just to piggyback off of that a little bit, don't depend on your teachers for what you would know. Okay, the lectures that you get in medical school are just like guidelines. There are so many other things that you have to know apart from what has been said during lectures. Medical courses, they are very, very broad. You cannot know everything from class. You definitely have to study. The notes that they give, the materials they give, those are like guides. So treat them as guides, like use them, but do not just focus on that. Read a bit wider for the things that you've been taught, because you'll be surprised. Like, you would enter the exam hall and they'll start asking you, especially in objectives, they'll start asking you things that are not in your notes, things that are not in your material, and you are going to start being confused, like, but did not teach us this, fam. Relying on classes will not suffice. Okay, take advantage of your teachers. Okay, take advantage of the opportunity that you have teachers that are willing to teach you. A lot of the time in medical school, teachers are willing, very, very willing to teach you. Like, their doors are open for them to teach you a bit more if you don't understand something. Even though for me, I'm not very comfortable with going to teachers per se, or to your lecturers. I'm more comfortable going to maybe my classmates that I know that understands what the topic is about. I feel like I'll be more comfortable learning from them. But a couple of times I've actually tried going to my teachers, my lecturers, my SRs to explain a couple of things to me, and it was a huge advantage for me. Okay, definitely look into that. If you can't go directly to the consultants, especially if you are in clinicals. Now, I don't think this applies to preclinicals. If you're in clinicals, if you can't go directly to the consultants, there are SRs there, there are registrars there that can put you through a lot of these things and will just make you understand it a lot better. Do not compare yourself to other people. You're going to be intimidated a lot in medical school, and if you allow it, it's going to affect you a lot. It's going to throw you off course, it's going to throw you off balance, and it can affect your overall performance. Like, a lot of the time you will hear people saying things like, oh, they read this, they read that, like yesterday they studied overnight for 10 hours, they did this and that, like, and your mind, you're like, I've not even finished this topic. Yesterday I only read for 3 hours, like, I've not even started this one, I've not even done this one. Somebody is here saying, oh, I finished the whole of endocrinology, and you are just there like, God, and then you now start rushing and reading endocrinology and leaving every other thing out. See, these people have you don't know what their plan is. You don't have the full picture of what their plan is. So you cannot now, because somebody said that they read this particular thing and they finished it, now dump your own plan and they now jump on whatever it is that they said that they've read. Try not to buy into the hype. Like, if you've made your plan, stick with it, okay? It's not wrong, you know, for you to actually check in with your classmates and stuff. Oh, okay, what are you reading? Or how are you doing this thing? You know, I do that a lot, but eventually, even after I've done that, I then go and make my own plan. I'm not just here running here. One person will say they read this, I'll start reading this one, then another person will be like they finished this one, then I'll start, like, I'll jump again, I'll start reading. It's like you are just baseless. People that have plans and they know exactly what they are doing, and then because you heard that they've studied something you've not studied, it throws you off balance. There are so many people who intimidate you in medical school. I am not joking. So many people. There are so many smart people in medical school. Okay, a lot of us were top in our classes in secondary school. So yeah, you should look forward to that happening, and don't let it throw you off balance when it does. Okay, just focus on your thing and keep it pushing. Remain humble. I see this a lot, and a lot of people have this perception of us that we are just like pompous and unnecessarily proud and arrogant and egocentric because we are medical students. And to be frank, that is not completely wrong. Okay, most of it is wrong. Like, most of the assumptions that a lot of people have about medical students, they are wrong. I have seen some people actually just be unnecessarily pompous and proud because what, you are in medical school. And so, like, the fact that you got into medical school and some of your classmates in secondary school or some of your peers who wanted it did not get it does not mean that you are any better than them. It's just circumstances. Okay, so do not now, because of that, now grow shoulder pad and then you now start moving in a weird way, like you want people to accord you some funny respect that is even unwarranted in the first place. No, just remain humble. You are a medical student. Yes, what you are doing is great. You are chasing your dreams and whatnot. It is amazing. Kudos to you. But try not to let it get into your head too much. Okay, just try. Don't let it get into your head. Okay, just focus on your thing. You should definitely be proud of yourself. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. Like, you are doing amazing. Okay, definitely be proud of yourself, but at the same time, do not now let it get into your head and then you start acting like you are one small god. You are not. Okay, you are not. So this one is actually something that I have struggled with even up until now, because there's hardly ever time, but it is an advice that I would love to take myself if I had the luxury of time and whatever to take. So I'm just still going to give you, and you know, you can try your luck and, you know, try as much as possible to make it work. It is very difficult for me to make it work, but yeah, I will still give you the advice and see if you can make it work. Reread a lecture before the lecture happens. This is more feasible in preclinicals than in clinicals, where in clinicals we have block lectures. So in a day we can have like 12 topics that we are doing. There's no way that the night before you would have read 12 topics. It's not possible. But in preclinicals, if you have your lecture schedule and whatnot, try as much as possible. That is more feasible in clinicals. Try as much as in preclinicals. Try as much as possible to pre-read the lecture before you go for the lecture. I promise you, you'll be less clueless. You would flow more with the class, and it just sticks better and you understand better than just going with like zero knowledge of what they're about to say in class, what the lecture is about, and then you're acting confused and everything. Try as much as possible to pre-read the lecture. Like, if you have a lecture on, say, brachial plexus, for example, try as much as possible to read your textbook on brachial plexus, or even watch a video. Even if you can't like read the whole thing, if there's by chance not time, just watch a video on YouTube and, you know, read a summary on it or whatnot. It would go a long way. I'm telling you, this works. Okay, it will go such a long way. So yeah, try as much as possible to do that. You cannot be timid or shy in medical school. It will not work. If you don't really have a lot of confidence, if you are shy, if you don't like public speaking, please try as much as possible to try to work on it before you come into medical school, or even while you are in medical school. Just try as much as possible to work on your confidence and your public speaking, because in medical school, especially in clinicals, we do a lot of presentations. Like, in a week you can present like 2 times, 3 times, okay, in a week in clinicals. So if you are somebody, in fact, I feel like this will even grow on you, to be honest. Like if you've been I don't know anybody now who is timid or shy. I don't know anybody in my class who cannot, just like roll out a presentation and do it well and whatnot. I don't know anybody who is still timid or shy to present or whatnot, like, because we do it so many times that after a while it just becomes part and parcel of you, and you just learn how to do it. But yeah, I feel like it's something that you have to prepare your mind for. You are going to be doing a lot of presentations. You present to your group, to your consultants, your lecturers, your SRs, your registrars. You are going to keep presenting things. And apart from that, during exams, like there are the vivas, the oral exams, where you face your examiner directly and they ask you questions. There are long case exams. Those are the bedside exams where they give you patients, and then you collect the patients and your examiner will come and you have to present to them and answer their questions directly. So all of these things are actually there. A major factor in how those exams go is your confidence. Like you have to be confident, you have to be able to speak out loud, just look like you know what you're saying and you know what you're doing and you're confident of your abilities. It is very, very important. I think that is something that you definitely should work on if it is a huge problem. If you have phobia for blood or cadavers are dead bodies, by the way. If you have phobia for any of those two, please try and look into it. By phobia, I don't mean that, oh, I'm just a little bit scared. I mean like actual real phobias, like the phobias that they talk about in psychiatry, in mental health. If you have real phobias for blood, for cadavers, you definitely have to look into it, because you are going to be seeing blood. You'll be seeing blood, seeing the insides of people. Sometimes it's like a lot of blood. You are going to work with cadavers in your preclinical. From second year, you are going to start working with cadavers. So if you have phobias for those things, you have to look into it. Okay, you have to look into it. You probably have to see a psychiatrist. You probably have to go to therapy. You can never know it all. That is another thing you have to know. You can never ever know it all. There's somebody else who is going to know one thing that you don't know. I know that you were a champion in your secondary school and you knew everything. Before your teachers ask you questions, you already answered them. You give them gbas. It's not like that in medical school. Even the best student in the class doesn't know it all, okay? Like you cannot know it all. There are times that you are going to have to take your L's and just keep it pushing, okay? You are going to chop many L's in medical school, be it with results, during postings, during in class. You are going to chop many L's, so just get used to it. Get used to chopping your L's and moving on. You are not going to know it all. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We are in school to learn, okay? If you knew it all, you would not be in medical school. So that's the reason why you are in school. You are in school to learn. You are not supposed to know it all. It is absolutely perfectly normal. You have to stay healthy, okay? Your physical health, your mental health, make sure you stay healthy. Like this is so important. Make sure you stay healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, because that's actually the WHO definition of health. Like it takes into consideration the physical aspect, the mental aspect, and the spiritual aspect. Make sure that you stay healthy in all of these aspects, because it is so important in your overall performance. It's also important in determining the kind of doctor you are going to be and what your performance will even be in medical school. I shot myself in the leg earlier in medical school because I did not take my physical health into consideration. I was just acting anyhow, doing anyhow. Like I started falling sick a lot. Like I was stressed. I did not know how to prioritize rest. And it is very, very easy to just let go of yourself, to let go of your health, because there are so many things fighting for your attention. You have to go for this 7 a.m. class. After, you have to come back and read. There's practical here. There's the posting here. You have to go on call there. Like there are so many things that are going to just keep fighting for your attention, that it's going to be so easy for you to let yourself go and not know that your health is depreciating mentally, physically. Like it is so important. If you are not healthy, you cannot be in medical school. You cannot do well in medical school. So for you to do well in medical school, your health is very important. Try as much as possible to prioritize that. very, very important. I always say this, take your health very seriously. So that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you learned something. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Okay, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Last but not least, don't forget to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I will see you in my next one. Bye.